7 Seattle Tower. You are cleared to land runway 16 right. Welcome home.
Home is what matters to Alaska Airlines. Home is something we've built. It's something concrete, like our operations at SeaTac, employing over 6,000 in Seattle. It's enduring, like our all-Boeing fleet, and our commitment to our local economy. We constantly work to improve our home by doing what we believe is right. We lead the charge in sustainability, the in-flight experience, mileage program, award-recognized customer satisfaction, and giving back to our community. Our home gives us pride. It makes us fiercely independent and reminds us what it takes to survive and succeed in the Pacific Northwest. Home is something we serve. Whether we're going above and beyond for our Seattle area customers, sharing Northwest values with 100 destinations in the U.S. and beyond, we're taking an active role in local causes and charities. We rally for home. We yearn for it when we're far away. Home is where we turn to when we need inspiration in a tough spot. Every day, we're flying home to the people we love and the communities we serve. Alaska Airlines. It is our privilege to call Seattle home.
So right out of the gates, let's just deal with the awkwardness or the white elephant in the room. How many of you guys got on a plane to be here today? How many of you guys are getting on a plane to go back home? How many of you guys are getting on an Alaska Airlines plane to go home? So here's the awkwardness. For you guys that are going on an Alaska plane, at the end of this presentation, you're going to be like, yes! And for the rest of you guys, you're going to be like, oh, shit. But don't worry for you guys. We have your back. We talk about us being the hometown airline for Seattle. And for those of you that are not from Seattle are wondering, when are you guys going to become our hometown airline? So I have some good news for you guys. We recently announced an acquisition. And with the Virgin America acquisition, we truly focused on becoming the nation's airline. We truly focused on becoming the hometown airline for every single one of the cities that you guys operate in. Now, the airline industry is interesting. We are an 84-year-old, $6 billion startup company. Now, think about our customers. The customer expectation on airline and air traffic and air travel is incredible. Now, think about what we do for a second. Close your eyes. Imagine the seat that you're sitting on right now. Now picture the seat, very same seat, raised up to 30,000 feet and then flying across the world at 500 miles an hour. That's what we do, people. But the guy in 28F is bitching that we charge him $20 for bag fees. Let me put this in perspective for you. We charge you $350 to get on a piece of equipment that costs $100 million. We charge you $350 to get on this thing. We fly you at 30,000 feet at 500 miles an hour from the East Coast to the West Coast of the United States. And you get to your destination, you pay $100 to get into a filthy, dirty, $4,000 cab to get to your destination to stay in a hotel room that's a 5x5 square thing. And you love it. And you complain about Wi-Fi on the plane. So you can appreciate, for a company like Alaska Airlines, we have challenges in order to meet this customer paradigm or this customer shift. Even with the acquisition of Virgin America, we're only about a 4 to 5% market player in this industry. So we're a large company, but in context, we're this rinky-dinky little airline that's competing with the likes of American Airlines and Delta and Lufthansa and British Airways and Emirates. And the type of problems we're solving for are the exact same problems that they're solving for. Here's the difference. They're 10x our size, they're 20x our size. They have the depth and breadth of resources to solve the problems that we don't necessarily have. So when one of the big guys solves a problem, they throw $100 million at solving the problem. And we'll look at them and we're like, yeah, I get that's how they would solve it. I'm going to throw $500,000 at solving that same problem. And when they look at me, they need to be able to say, how did those little shits do that? We have to operate like a maverick brand. We have to operate fundamentally differently. We have to break the paradigm of what everyone thinks and imagines air travel is about. So with that, as a company, we focused on two key things. The first thing we focused on is running an efficient operation. Absolutely running an efficient operation. We pride ourselves by being the #1 on-time airline. 7 years in a row, #1 on-time airline in North America. Now, when we talk about continuous delivery and DevOps and Agile and all of these interesting words, at its core, we're talking about velocity. We're talking about speed. In the 1980s, when we were all getting certified in project management and I have my PMP, it was all about cost, scope, and schedule, this triple constraint. And we were talking about, you can only have two. Which two? Pick one, the triple constraint. And then we got cute about it in the 2000s and we said, it's not about cost, scope, schedule anymore. It's about faster, better, cheaper. And still pick two. We've ushered into the era right now where it's all about time. Everything is measured around time. It's about faster, faster, faster. That's the only dimension that matters right now. And we're thinking about that at Alaska Airlines. So much so that I believe we should tagline our airline as being the 60-second airline. Because we want to measure things, every single facet of our program, in 60-second increments, if not less. And that's where we're going to.
You don't get to be the #1 on-time airline by chance. It comes from working together. It comes from constant improvement. It comes from looking at all stages of the process and making it better. At Alaska, we like to say, manage the inputs closely and the results will follow. And getting the aircraft door open in 60 seconds starts well before the aircraft arrives at the gate, with people and equipment being in place and ready to go.
Seattle Tower, Alaska 65, visual approach 34 right.
Alaska 65, Seattle Tower, runway 34 right, wind 160 at 10, clear to land.
Before the aircraft door can open, more than 80 checklist items need to happen. And they need to happen in the right way, in the right order, and at the right time. "60 seconds. What gets measured gets managed." Just one example of how Alaska Airlines provides award-winning customer service while driving costs down.
Now, when you talk about speed and velocity, we're the only airline on the planet that will open that front L1 door in 60 seconds. Now, watch the guys that are going on an Alaska jet tomorrow. Everyone's going to be timing us. But that 60 seconds is meaningful. Why 60 seconds front L1 door? It's the best of both worlds. Imagine a passenger, when that plane lands, you want to get off this aluminum tin that you're on. And when you see that front L1 door open, you see people heading off this plane, it's an yes. From an airline operation perspective, it allows us to deplane that aircraft and turn it around in 20 minutes or less. What that translates to us on an annualized basis is 2 Boeing 737s worth of aircraft savings on an annualized basis. It's phenomenal. Now, you didn't see any software there. Trust me, that entire back end is engineered and powered by software. Right? Knowing where everything is, staging the environment, knowing when the aircraft's going to land, making sure all of the crew is in place, the level of sensors, telemetry, all of this information that's coming off the aircraft, off the ground, and everything in between is phenomenal. Right? And if our systems aren't able to operate at high efficiency with speed and velocity we need, there's no way we can do that in 60 seconds. So it's a high degree of performance and velocity. When we talk about on-time performance, let me give you an example for a second. Let's take a simple flight from Seattle to Las Vegas. You get measured on what is called block time. Block time is time that you purchase from the FAA. Alaska purchases 2 hours and 8 minutes for that flight. So we get benchmarked and measured on 2 hours and 8 minutes. Our nearest competitor for that same leg buys 2 hours and 13 minutes. They get measured on 2 hours and 13 minutes. In spite of us buying the narrowest block time, we're the #1 on-time airline. So think about it. You can buy being an on-time airline. You could buy 3 hours for the same flight. Cost you millions and millions of dollars, but you could be on time. We buy the narrowest of margins, and yet we're the #1 on-time airline. And it's because of our relentless focus on speed, velocity, and agility. That savings alone in block time, for us as a company, translates into 2 Boeing 737s worth of savings on an annualized basis. Phenomenal ROI that we're able to pump back into the hands of our employees in the form of bonuses and into the hands of our customers in the form of a better on-product experience. In-seat power, entertainment streaming to a device of your choice, better food. These are things that we want to invest in a company because that's what's more important to our customers and passengers. And that's what we relentlessly focused on. So where are we going with this? We were the first airline to have a website and sell tickets on the website. We were the first airline to put kiosks in the airport. We were the first airline to do online check-in. First airline to allow you to do a home bag tag. Yeah, I want to be the first airline for us to take kiosks out of the airport and to make that entire experience ambient and to think about your entire travel experience, not only from curb to gate or on the aircraft, but from the moment you thinking about traveling, to booking your ticket and experiencing your entire journey and coming back and telling 500 of your best friends about it. That's the entire travel experience that we're looking at, and anything and everything in between. And we're looking at transforming that. But our one singular focus is around this one dimension of time. So one of the things we launched 2 years ago, we were the first airline on the planet to launch this thing called a 20-minute bag guarantee. From the time the pilot puts the brake on that front wheel to the time the first bag hits the carousel, 20-minute financially backed guarantee. It's crazy in some of the airports. Our frequent flyers are racing us to the carousel. Like, oh, we're going to beat them to it. So I'm really thinking maybe we should create an app for that. Let's gamify this thing. 20 minutes, right? Most of your airports, by the time it takes you more than 20 minutes to walk from the gate to the baggage carousel. When we landed in Austin, by the time we walked to the carousel, the first set of bags were already coming out. Right? Again, highly efficient operation, customer experience, phenomenal. You just literally walk off the plane, you grab your bag, and you go. It's fantastic. Now we're looking at transforming the front end of that airport experience. So that was the back end. What we want to do is what we're referring to as a 60-second bag drop. So from the moment you walk into the airport, I want you to be able to check in your bag and get to the TSA line in 60 seconds or less. Fundamentally transforming the front end of the lobby experience. And we're looking at a series of technologies at play here. We're looking at mobile, we're looking at a digital smart bag tag, and we're looking at biometrics as part of this entire digital component to deliver on this promise. But for us to be able to do this, we need to experiment, we need to write code, and we need to release this code quickly, and we need to test, and we need to respond to where the market is going. And right now, we've had at least 3 iterations of this, right, where we want to move towards a 60-second bag rock. And I'll give you a live example of this, and I apologize a bit for the video quality. This is literally me sitting in my hotel room on one of my trips, recording this for you guys. So literally, I'm in my hotel room. I think this was traveling from San Diego to Seattle. So I launch our 5-star mobile app, and it, of course, picks my agenda. Okay, I'm flying to Seattle. I'm checking in for my flight. And at this point, all sorts of back-end crazy things are happening, and it's connecting to different systems to pull out my PNR record. It finds it. It says, okay, what do you want to do? Pick my seat. So I pick my seat. How many bags do I want to check? I want to check 1 bag. It says, hey, do you want to use your electronic digital bag tag? I said, yes. And if you notice in the back there on my bag, there's this interesting digital bag tag. And that's electronic ink. That's a Kindle on steroids. And so you turn it on, watch that tag. Boom. And so that bag is now configured. And so that bag is configured. My next step is I show up to the airport and go to my customer service agent. We want to get rid of podiums. We want to get rid of kiosks. We want to get rid of those counters that agents stand behind. We want to create a lobby experience and a lobby feel. So I literally walk up and an agent comes up to me. She's got her iPad and she literally scans that thing. Boom, bag checked, I'm done. That's it. That's all I need to do to check my bag. We're looking at having moving conveyor belts so I literally can walk in and drop the bag. Now, this notion of continuous delivery and code and quick release of code, the reason we want to do some of this is think about the next evolution of this. Why should I even tell the app I want to check in? It should just automatically check me in. Why should I tell it to configure the bag? It should be smart enough to just configure the bag. Why should I go to that agent and have her even do that? It should just sense it and know that I'm there, and it should just pull me through. That's where we want to go through it, right? And then we want to extend that through biometric. This is me literally checking in at the gate. We're the only airline in North America that's approved by the FAA to test this digital bag tag and test biometric to onboard on a plane right now. It is in this industry's benefit for Alaska Airlines to remain a highly independent airline, for us to be a maverick brand, because we push this industry to where it needs to go. And we're using it by one singular measure, and that is time. Every single thing we do, we focus on this dimension of time. Throughout this conference, you would hear a number of people talking about DevOps and what is DevOps and what are we trying to accomplish with DevOps and this new agile way of working. I don't care whether you call it DevOps, I don't care whether you call it agile, lean agile, and all sorts of Eldo or whatever you want to call this thing. When it's all said and done, what we're talking about doing is getting heterogeneous, co-located teams, putting them together to deliver outcomes at speed. That's fundamentally what we're talking about doing. It's delivering code at speed, because delivering code at speed is what enables an experience like that. It's what enables us to transform the airline experience. It allows us to bring back the magic of air travel. It allows you, the next time you sit on your seat, to sit back and think about, holy crap, these guys have taken the seat and raised it up at 30,000 feet and have moved me across the planet at 500 miles an hour, and they're giving me satellite streaming while I'm at it. How awesome is that? That's the promise that we're looking to deliver on. And look, we're continuing to expand as an airline. We're in high growth mode right now. We expect the Virgin America deal to close sometime in the September-October timeframe. Think about the work associated with integrating two airlines. Right? Think about the plumbing and engineering that's going to go into that. And again, we want to do this thing at speed. The best thing we can do for our customers is to integrate these two airlines as quickly as possible. Airline integrations are notoriously multi years. Yeah, if I could, I want to do it in 60 seconds. But we're going to do this thing fast so we can continue to service you guys in an amazing way. That's my time. Thanks for having me, guys.